Weather portion of Ag Week. It has been a remarkable April, especially in the Midwest and the Great Plains and the Northern Plains. Colder than average temperatures through the 27th of April over really most of the continent. Exceptions, quite warm in the Southwest, down through Mexico, and Florida has had a fairly warm month, but most locations cold. Now, I should point out, globally, the spring, including the month of April, is going to turn out just like every other month has recently, above the 30-year mean and warmer than it's been in most of the last 100 years at least of measurement. So it's not like this is a sign that there's been a radical reversal in the overall warming planet, but we've been caught in a very cold area. The coldest, at least anomalously cold area, has been northern Iowa and southern Minnesota. This small area still has a chance to break the record for the coldest April on record or come in second place. The rest of this probably going to be a top 10. Meanwhile, it's becoming gradually a little less cold. In fact, it's warming up a little bit this weekend. Some of these warm areas into the 70s and 80s, but it's temporary. As the jet goes through another little flip, we're going to start seeing cooler weather drop down into the northern plains and parts of the northern Corn Belt this week, but that looks fairly temporary as another high pressure ridge will build up. Jet stream, the main polar jet, going pretty far north into western Canada and Alaska, and I think we may see a lot of this over the next few months, at least over the west, some fairly warm air. As we move toward the second week of this forecast period, May 6 through 12, starting off warm, but I do think there'll be a little bit of a cooling trend. Nothing really cool, just a little bit of an adjustment, you might say. The really cold weather will remain Canadian this time. As far as the upper level winds affecting moisture goes, there is a system along the west coast that will move in and bring, I think, a good chance of rain, maybe some storms early in the week as the heat relaxes. That'll cause some showers and storms down through the Middle West. That'll then drop on south while we're cool and dry for a couple of days. Then as the ridge builds up back across the west, most of the Great Plains, Rockies, is going to be fairly dry. Southeast will get some rain, and that'll be about it. Heading into the second week of the forecast period, rain systems will be moving mostly along the jet. There may be some token showers in the northern plains, but for the most part, it's going to be fairly dry, but not too terribly warm. So in summation, looking at the first few warm days of the spring coming around recently and a few more days in the 70s and 80s. Rains, though, mostly fairly scant. Not a lot of widespread rains for the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, or southern Canada. Few showers and thunder showers, about all we'll see. The real positive here, after a disappointing spring, field work is getting underway.